Hello and happy Friday, my friends. How are you guys? I hope that you're doing well. I hope that everything in your life is keeping you busy and the good kind of busy, because I definitely know I am and I need a vacation. Um, Very busy life. So, good morning to you. I wanted to get back into the creator talk. However, this morning I woke up and I looked at my tablet and I was like, I've got all this huge list of things that I could talk about when it comes to creator energy, creating the space, creating, you know, manifesting in general. But I decided that I was going to just go ahead and pull an oracle card and see what I was led to talk about. And today I actually pulled this card from my nature deck, which is acceptance of love. Okay. And how this pertains to manifesting and creating your reality, how you would like it to be. The first thing about the card that drew me in is the fact that they're both, nature oriented. Okay, one of them is they're literally a tree. All right. It's such a beautiful deck, this deck. It's called Nature's Whisper, if any of you guys are interested in that. I use that deck whenever I need to feel a little more grounded in myself because it's not so confusing. It's not filled with a bunch of different meanings. It's just basic, shows you a nice, lovely painting. And I highly suggest it. The artist that created it, it's so beautiful. The paintings are beautiful. Anyway, so the acceptance of love. This is hard for a lot of people. It might be simple for some, but really, a lot of people that I've mentored and a lot of people I've done readings for, they struggle with this concept. I have as well multiple times in my life. And how this pertains to being a creator, you know, is without being able to accept where you're currently at and who you are, and accepting that you have certain traits and you can let love in, it really creates a huge block. Some of you that may know, I also write, and I do write articles from time to time. It's been a while since I have quite a while actually. I write articles, I do journal, and I have had multiple blogs in my life, but I write articles sometimes on Medium. And one of the articles that I wrote was about being able to actually be open and accepting of love. And humans naturally struggle with the idea of truly not only loving ourselves in a way that actually makes sense, but letting love in and being able to receive. Because ultimately, when it comes down to manifesting, there has to be a big space for you to allow yourself to receive whatever it is that you actually desire. And we've naturally been taught to go against our desires, or to look at our desires as though they're selfish because they don't benefit the whole. Or if you have a personality like myself where people judge you because maybe you're outside the norm. I've always been the black sheep, right? We tend to close ourselves off because sometimes we judge ourselves, uh, even on a subconscious level. We don't realize it, like, I'm not like everybody else, you know and this closes you off from love if you go with the status quo just because you think that's how you're going to get love. But all this type of creator energy and being able to tap into it really is not about the status quo. It's living outside the status quo and having all of the full faculties and full abilities of being a true human. And I'm going to be honest with you. The human that has been generated is like factory 2.0. The human that we have, the style of human that we have here is not natural in the slightest. And we are the altars. Okay, we are the temples. We are the temples. The churches, the places of worship that tell us this is how we're supposed to worship, this is how we're going to get the goods. That is manufactured. All of that is manufactured love. None of it comes from the heart space. None of it comes from the true pits and fires of the heart. And you will know love. You will know when you've truly received love. And I don't just mean in the sense of, this is love because I like person A, person B likes me, and we're doing stuff for each other. It's love when it's strong, okay? It can weather the storms and it grows and it helps heal and it actually opens up more space. It opens up more space to be able to create and to grow and love and heal each other, all right? All of these modalities that we have, and especially in the spiritual communities, and I'm not judging, okay? In the spiritual communities, there's so many modalities that can help heal you. But at the core of your self-worth, the core of who you are, being able to let love in is also a universal thing. Okay? It is a universal topic. And so many people, myself included, who are, spiritual warriors, they're people who are out there fighting the fight for love, okay, have blocks in this area. They, you know, you become hard around the edges because you start to put up barriers, right? Because you have to. You have to. You have to put up barriers. You have to be careful of who's, you're giving your energy and time to. You have to utilize your judgment. You have to utilize discernment. All of those things are important, but there's a fine line between using your discernment and using a wall. I spend a lot of time around vets. I have. And what I have learned about people who are real soldiers, real warriors, is that a lot of them have these barriers. They have walls that can be as tall as the Great Wall of China because they've seen a lot. And what I've learned about someone who has been on the front lines is that they learn the most horrendous things that people can do, the most horrendous things that people have to offer. And a lot of us, that are here day to day, like a regular, or what you would call a regular human, a regular person who is bought into the system, they're not seeing that. They're not seeing what it actually looks like to watch someone lose a limb. And that kind of trauma, it creates huge walls. And vets, some of them, okay, they have the most amazing capacity to be non-judgmental. They care for others in very big ways. I'm not saying there haven't been selfish soldiers. There have, okay? But for the majority that I've met, they tend to understand people more, and they tend to give out their love more, but it's in a totally different way. It's in a protector kind of way, right? But reflected back on that, a lot of times these vets, they tend to want to protect themselves. So they will sacrifice themselves in the name of protecting others first, because they know the horrors. They know the horrors of what is out there. They've seen their friends and their spirits broken, and their own spirits have been broken. So some of the walls that we put up, they're necessary. They're necessary for our growth and for our mental health. But we live in a system that creates this, that creates the soldier, creates the warrior, the monsters, okay, and takes them out of nature. This is what I'm getting at. It takes them out of nature, and it teaches them how to fight and how to survive and how to be a wolf, right? And how to be, sorry about that, how to be a wolf, how to be, use their teeth, how to be the dragon in action, in the physical. But what really happens is the spirit suffers. The spirit suffers because they start seeing the atrocities. And letting love in for these people is the hardest. And the only reason I'm talking about this is perspective. Imagine you and I sitting here right now, you're watching a YouTube video of me talking about letting love in. But these people have had to clean a pistol to save the life of children in villages of ethnic cleansing. So how hard is it to accept that we can actually create something better for ourselves if that's not something we've seen? It's just a perspective, right? It's a perspective shift, which is about being a creator, right? Being a creator is being able to take your perspective and shift it and say, oh, wow, yeah, that's a very good point. Have I not been letting love in because I feel like I can't trust anyone? I can't trust the government. I can't trust for good reason. Okay, for good reason. You're not going to see me willy-nilly trusting everything. Okay, I know the truth. Okay, the truth, right? I know what is going on behind the scenes. And for some, once they learn that, they put up walls that are so large to fortify their own safety that sometimes they put them up around their heart, and those that are around them who are well-meaning, they don't see it. So the challenge, I would say, if you are creating and you're manifesting, is to take a look deep inside at, do I really feel like a God creator? Do I really feel like I have love in my life? And am I allowed to let it in? Am I letting myself let it in? Because that energy, the energy of love itself, is going to help conquer fears. It's going to be able to help you get through those moments when it feels like, okay, who am I to say that I can have this or be this or do that or be in a godlike presence if I don't actually know how love can be let in? We get so busy fighting the spiritual wars, and that we forget love really is a part of this. It's a binding energy, right? So the challenge is definitely there for it. The acceptance of being love as well as being a warrior. Because a warrior of love, which is definitely something I am, okay? And you may resonate with that, as they say, resonate, right? Being a warrior of love is knowing when to actually let it in, to soften you, to soften your experience. And that's something new every single day that I get to learn. I get to see it every day. How to allow yourself to break those barriers down and those boundaries down within your inner universe. Because the older you get as well, the harder it gets to let those boundaries down, to let that wall down, right? And in a lot of ways, we have to be able to be the older person. Okay, we have to be the elder, but we also have to be the child. This is the full experience, right? The full experience is being able to be both. It's like, I'm going to take a sip of my drink here. This is a little bit of a hard talk, I know. It's a little bit of a hard discussion, but we live in a world where we've been taught to put as much barrier between us and everything else because it is unsafe. And things have dictated for far too long what it is that we create here, what it is that we want to create for this planet. When we really are the true operant powers of this planet, we've just been told and had shoved down our throats and in our ears and in our eyeballs, and told to perceive everything outside of us as the truth, when really it's within you. And I'm going to keep coming back to this question. Which is, what happens when enough people have done the inner work and they have decided that enough is enough? It's time to change this fucking game. What happens? People come together and they start realizing they have more power than the governments. They have more power than Joe Schmo up the street who's telling them, you're not allowed to do that because so-and-so said so. They start alchemizing and psychically connecting and making telepathic bubbles, whatever the fuck, right? Stuff outside of the base science that is so hard that, and I'm going to be honest here, the fact that science and spirituality need to be linked. The fact that they aren't is another way of keeping our minds from the truth. Okay? Separation is not acceptance of love. That's a fact, so to speak. So in your creations, especially if you are playing around with the idea of creating your own little temple or your own little space where you are doing things, where you're uncovering your divinity, accessing records, whatever it is that you're doing there, you are free to accept love in these areas. You can communicate with the spirits of people that you wanted to say something to or heal. You can do that. You can do that in a space where you have cultivated the ability to just close your eyes, go there, however it is you get there. I talked about that in another video. However it is you get to this space, whether it's meditation, whether it's instantaneous like myself. I don't have to meditate to go to the space. I suggest that some people do. if you're not used to imagination or getting yourself in that space. But being able to go into this space helps you to change yourself internally, because ultimately that's what this is about, is being able to go within and internally shift yourself and the gears and the clockworks and the things that are moving around within you, and then be able to see that reflected externally. And this space that you open up can eventually become a space of power, where you are truly accessing the gods and accessing aspects and doing energetic warfare and galactic warfare and things like that. Spiritual warfare, if you're into that. But having a training grounds here is just as important. Which is what I struggle with as a Pisces. Okay. Rest of my chart's all fire. I'm going to be honest with you guys, mostly Aries and Sagittarius over here. But mastering your physical reality is just as important as this internal one. I've just kind of done it backwards. And right now, I am focusing on getting control over my body and starting to understand that having an inner space where I have cultivated a lot of power, and then being able to finally externally express that has been quite a treat. Some of the things that I've been able to do shock me. They still shock me. Yeah. So, all of our warriors out there, I just wanted to say this, and vets included. If you have a friend or a family member who is a soldier or someone who has seen action, talk to them. Let them teach you. Let them teach you how to survive the third dimension game physically. Let them teach you. Because I have someone who's teaching me right now. And he is a Delta Special Forces unit commander. And the things he's teaching me about the game that he's mastered, which is the 3D, is shocking. So don't be afraid. If you want to pick up, say, a compound bow or a bow staff, or learn how to fight with knives or boxing, or learn how to protect yourself in the 3D, because we have been taught to be weak. Okay? Humans are naturally neutered. But if you have that strength within you, and you know you do, okay, you know within you the strength already exists. People who are spiritual in a sense, or people who are who are authentic, the real, okay? I'm not talking about this new age stuff. I'm talking about people who are ready to face their shit, or who already have. And they know the garbage within them, and they know the garbage without. Okay, you know how to alchemize, all right, and transmute. The physical plane has its applications, and being able to use the inner to create is just as important as the outer. It really is. Whew. So yeah, acceptance of love. You may be able to help someone out there if you haven't. There could be someone out there who doesn't know how to love, and my foot just hit my tripod. Guys, I'm not perfect. Okay? Like, I fuck up all the time. Like, I trip and fall, and I do things, and I'm stupid sometimes, right? I say dumb things. This is just YouTube. I'm not going to I'm not going to have all the answers. I'm like all of you, in my presence, learning to be human while also being one with source, one with the higher force. I'm feeling a lot of pressure in the heart space today, a lot of that area, so this card is just as much for me as it is for you guys. What do you think of? I think of the druids as well when I see this card. I have a guardian tree in my backyard. And for quite some time, we've been thinking of moving. And every time I look at a property or find somewhere else, we get drawn back here. I'm starting to think that perhaps it's a point of power. I don't know. I need to do more research, but I keep thinking about that. I love how they're kissing, don't you? The feminine and masculine within you, having that balance will allow love in. Because that synergy of both of those energies, and I can tell you, it is potent. And higher dimensional energy coming through you, going into your body, it changes you. It changes you. It is not something small. And for all those people out there who genuinely know what I'm talking about, when you feel that energy, you know it in the heart space, that is real love. And it's on multiple levels. It's not just, between two people. Well, that is what I have today. I may be doing a reading later. I may be doing something interesting with that reading. So if you did stick around this long to listen to my mug talk about all this stuff, I want to say thank you. Maybe something in here actually hit home for you. Maybe there's something you're struggling with when it comes to creating and manifesting and letting love in, because that energy will be the glue for your projects. It will be the glue for your creativity. It's going to hold together what it is that your vision is for yourself and your creativity. Okay? So let love in. Try it. You guys take it easy, and thanks for watching.